Okay, I have given you, and you should have a handout called Model Comprehensive Ministry with Youth. It might look a little different, but this is what it is. Now, let's just look at the heading so you can get familiarized. You do have the components of youth ministry on one side. On top, you have the youth or the individual. The second line, you have the family, the home. Third line, you have the parish, and then you have the community, the whole town or city, okay? But right under that, you have what we call, remember earlier we talked about gathered programs and non-gathered programs? Okay, now comprehensive ministry deals with each component of those, but in their person, home, church, parish, and community, but also as non-gathered programs and gathered programs for each one. Now, let me give you an example. Okay, because this is your homework. This is what you're supposed to turn into me. Okay, and then you will receive your certification. Okay, of completion of Comprehensive Ministry 101. Now let's look. Let me give you an example. Most of you are familiar with DCYC, the Dawson Catholic Youth Conference we have in April, or the Steubenville Conference. Okay, the reason why I put those together because they're kind of the same. Okay, actually. So one costs more than the other, and one is local, and one is literally, we're now in the same state, but not an umbrella. But let's look at DCYC. So think about, I'm going to go with DCYC, but if you're thinking Steubenville, that is fine. But when I say DCYC, you're thinking Steubenville. Okay? When you say, the reason you have to think about to yourself. What's the reason that I take our young people to DCYC? Because every program activity you do has to go into one of those squares. Well, some people will say, I take the young people to DCYC because of the catechetical component. Because they're going to teach them about Jesus, the catechesis. So you will put DCYC right where that star goes. Under community, under gather. Why community? Because it's not for the parish. Every parish comes together. All the parishes supposed to come together for DCYC because that's the conference of the bishop after the umbrella. So everybody comes to that as a community. Okay? Not just one parish, all the parishes. But that's catechesis for all. If you say, that is why I bring them, so you will put DCYC there. Now if you say, no, the reason why I take them is because I pray and worship. I love the worship. The bands that come and we worship God. I love the adoration, how we close with adoration. When teens start crying and how they feel so good afterwards. That's what I like. It's the prayer and worship. So now, if you put it in prayer and worship, you cannot put it in catechesis. Because you have to put it either or. You have to put it only in one square. Okay? Whatever your goal is. Now, some people will say, no, it's about community life. It's about having fun. We like the dance part at the beginning of Friday night when we all dance and we all get to talk to each other and meet different people. That's community life. That's why we bring them. If that's the case, put DCYC there. Okay? And you say, no, because I've heard people say, no, it's part of evangelization. Because we use DCYC to invite other teens that are not coming to our youth group to come to DCYC, so we use it as part of evangelization. We actually make little flyers and make invitations to all the teens that are not coming to our youth group so they can come to the DCYC and later on become part of our youth group and start coming to faith formation, whatever the case might be. We use it as evangelization and for non-Catholics. Oh, so that's the main goal? Put it there. Now I heard people say, no, I use it for leadership development. And I heard it one time, so I put it there. What do you mean leadership development? Yes. Because when you have God Squad, I like how they come and they get to learn how to do the dances and be in front of the stage. And what happens when they come back, now they're not afraid to be in front of their own peers and talk about Jesus and talk about whatever they learn, for them to do. They did a dance routine, so now they did a skit on DCYC as God Squad. Now they want to do one for the youth group. That's why I like it. Oh, okay. So you'll put your star or your DCYC in leadership development. Now, what you cannot do is put them in each one. You can say, oh, DCYC, DCYC here, DCYC there. No, only in one place. Okay, so I don't want to see DCYC or Steubenville in a bunch of spots. Because literally, you can actually also say that in some cases, DCYC had advocacy component. One year, we were talking about respecting life, and literally they have some crosses, and they walk to the park, and we had a speaker talking about respecting life for the unborn, and so, I mean, it can have an advocacy component. So you can say, I'm bringing them because of advocacy. You can also say, well, I'm bringing it for justice and service, because they're going to do some service. Remember, in some DCYCs, we actually asked you to bring cans to give to the poor for Catholic charities. Well, that's service. That's a justice and service for the poor. Okay, so you can have that component in there too. Well, you can also have pastoral care. So you can say, well, this year because of the pastoral care that I'm bringing to DCYC. Now, my goal is to put all those in a conference, but it's hard. But that's my goal. But now, you have to put it only in one. But if you want to go to a conference that has all of them in one conference, think about taking the young people to the National Catholic Youth Conference. Well, that conference has all of them because I'm part of that in FCYM. And the goal of the national conference is to put them all together. Okay, so if you want to take them to something that has everything, take them there. Okay? Now that you understand where every program goes or every component goes, understand that that's where it goes. Okay, only one. Now, let's look at catechesis, because I'm going to need you to do one to have something, even if you don't do it. Remember, we're in 8, so if you only have one thing, by next year you should have 2. Okay, so we can jump to B. Now, the one thing that I know every parish has, because we're in Sacramento, is youth group under parish gather or faith formation on Wednesdays from 6:30 to 8:30. I always say 6:30 to 8:30, whatever time you have. Okay? If that's how you have, and remember the whole model? That's how you put. If your parish, that's how you do, that's how you put. You don't have nothing else. Okay? But let's think about how can we have catechesis 9 gather. Now, it's better you do it as a parish, as a group, because you have more, remember your group, your leadership development, they're the ones that can say, well, how come we don't do this? How come we don't do that? How about having catechesis, teaching catechesis on social media or newsletter? Can the young people literally record or even send a little text or something or emoji or something deals with learning about God through social media? They're not gathered, but you send it to the whole church. To every member of the church is getting that little lesson, a short video. Even nowadays, if you just look through all the videos on YouTube and say, you know what, let's send this to all the young people. Hey, this is a good video, once a week, check this out. That's teaching catechesis via social media to the parents, to the youth group. Okay? Especially if you have a group on social media, if you have an account on any of the social medias. Now, let's continue. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. Home gather. Now, FLOM has a program, a family program actually, where there's a little booklet. Actually, some parishes have it. Actually, some parishes have what they give the little kids, like right when they're going to give their dollar, they go to the front and they put a dollar in the basket, and father gives them, or somebody gives them a little piece of paper that talks about the gospel of the day. Well, FLOM has something for teenagers and families. Can you have something that you give to the young people after Mass? Say, here, this is for the family. So they can gather and learn to be catechized. Just the family themselves. Because the parents are the first teachers anyway. Okay? So that's something you can give. Or a newsletter, something. Just something to give them to learn. Then how about non-gather for homes? What do you have for non-gather? This is just for catechesis, okay? How about the program formed? Some of you parishes have it already. But you don't do nothing. Parents look at videos, they look at books, they look at, there's catechesis, FORM has everything for you to grow. Now you can even have it on Roku or Apple TV. So they can catechize themselves non-gather. A teenager can turn it on and look for a movie about Mother Teresa or whatever, and grow in their catechism, in their faith, by themselves. You don't have to do nothing. Well, the parish has to buy the program, but it is something for them to non-gather. Okay. Now, as a catechist, whenever you gather, even if you assign someone to say, we're going to watch this movie because we're going to discuss it on the following day, that puts it together. It's a family, and then it's a parish. You don't have to see the whole movie. I know people that see the whole movie in catechesis. Now, come on. You're not teaching them, they're learning from the video, from the movie. Why not see it at home and then discuss it and talk about it? Now, how about for the individual? Catechesis for the young person. What can we do? How about youth gatherings online? They're gathered, but think about any platform, Zoom, GoToMeetings, whatever platform you use. And there's somebody teaching catechesis and said, we're going to teach apologetics online on this day, on this time, and the teenager or parent, whoever, comes together and goes online. They're at home by themselves, but they're gathered. They could be in the street and they pick up their phone and they're like, oh, I'm online in a teaching moment about apologetics, about the Virgin Mary, or whatever the case might be. And they're gathered. They're used by themselves. Okay? How about non-gathered for the youth? That was a little complicated. What do we have for them? How can we catechize the young people non-gathered? All the parishes here in Amarillo have flock note. How easy it is to send a little verse or a saint, the saint of the day, or something from the daily scriptures and say, here you go. And they can read it like, oh, this helps me. I know that I've heard people say, wow, this was perfect timing. I'm going through this, and this quote from this saint is just perfect for me today. That's catechesis, non-gathered. You're saying, this is just catechesis, but you have to do it for the whole thing. Community, gather. How about inviting a keynote or a concert? Imagine if you could say, you know what? Every year we're going to bring a concert. We're going to do a concert for the whole community, and we're going to invite the whole community to come. It's for everybody. You can catechize through song, or a keynote, or a presenter. Everybody's invited. Doesn't mean that whether they come or not. It's not about whether they're coming. It's whether how you catechize in the whole community about the faith. We're going to do the stations of the cross outside. There's a parish here that does the stations outside. Literally, they walk the street. They do a good job. They have the horses. Everybody's dressed up. They crucify Jesus besides the nails. But they pick them up. But they walk on the street. They're doing the stations on the street. That's for the community. Well, whether people come or not, that's a whole different story. But at least the people that are by the houses, they will hear it. They'll see it. That's catechism for the whole community. As gathered. Okay? How about non-gathered? How do we catechize non-gathered for the whole community? Let me give you an idea. Now, you do have ideas in the handouts that I gave you. Okay? So you can go through there and say, Oscar, this is a good idea, this is what we're going to do. How about a billboard for Christmas? With the times of the masses for your parish? Is that catechizing? If you say, Jesus is born, Jesus is alive, whatever little few words you put on that billboard and invite them to come to Mass, that's catechesis. Have you seen those billboards? They're all black with a few letters, and they say, God, I love you, and then the bottom says, God. Somebody's paying for those billboards as catechesis. How come we don't do it? Now, I have given you a whole section on, I've given you some samples already for catechesis for your comprehensive model. Now, what I need you to do is to go through it, more if you do it with a group, and say, how can we do this? Now, I do want you to think about this. If you were only doing youth group and gather, think about it. What can we add to go from A to B or B to C? What can we add? By you adding one, you're going to say, we're in B. We're in C. Now, you want to go haywire and say, you know what? We're going to add one for each component. Go for it. But I'll just ask you, just the minimum, add one. Now you say, Oscar, I cannot do it. I'm not asking you to do it. Remember, the important thing was the village, the community. It's everybody's responsibility to bring the good news to the young people. Find someone. Imagine, can you find someone to pay for form and say the young people have form as a non-gather for the parish? Why not? Call me. I'll show you how to do it. Okay? Or to say, you know what? The young people are going to fundraise. Instead of to go to Steubenville, to go to whatever, to have a Six Flags or whatever, we're going to fundraise to buy a billboard for our church for Christmas or for Easter or for whatever case. That's a different fundraiser. It's not for selfish reasons, for the good of the whole community. Think about that. But that's one thing you gotta do. Okay? Find someone who's good at flock notes that can send. Right now, every parish has a flock note. Why can't you find someone that will say, you know, are you willing to write a little verse or something, or copy something from the saints or the scriptures or somewhere and put it so that our teens can receive it? Okay? That's what it is. Let's start with closing. What did I learn? Okay? I do expect this back. What did I discover? Okay? What was I surprised by? I feel confident about youth ministry because I feel hesitant about youth ministry because Oscar gave me a lot of stuff to think about. I discovered that, my goodness, you know, I understand that everything comes from Renewing the Vision, the little booklet. And you can order online if you want to read and have more information on it, because I just gave you highlights. Okay? If you have any questions, email me, call me. That's my information. And I can, if you need help, to say, Oscar, we're here. What can we do? What could be next for us? Give us some ideas. If you say, Oscar, can you help us with a program? Let's put it. I want to make it a better. I want to make it start working to that comprehensive model. I want to go from B to C, from D to E, whatever the case might be. I feel that we're here, but what do you think about doing this? Every parish is different. Every parish culture is different. But there's not a single parish here that can say we have a comprehensive youth model. And I can tell you that because I am the director of the Diocese of Amarillo, and I've been to your parish, and I've seen your parish, and I've talked to your priests, and I've talked to your youth ministers, and I know what you guys have. And some I'll be calling and saying, hey, where are we at? Have we gone forward? And I know some of you have taken this program before, but if that's the case, we take it online, and we take it as many times as you want to, and think, are we going forward? Evaluate yourself. Amen? Thank you. I'm expecting your homework as it comes in, and continue the good work. Right now, thank you for what you do. If nobody has thanked you for your ministry, I want to thank you for saying yes, as Mary said yes to the angel and to God. Thank you for saying yes to God and whoever called you to this ministry. God bless and take care.